I'm kind of enjoying this whole thing about having a 4x speed opener to these sessions, because I know there are loads of people out there who just don't have the patience or perhaps even the interest to sit through me going through a session and explaining the pattern betting strategy bet by bet. But this was really pretty funny, because I'll tell you right now, it was a bloody horror story. It was the complete opposite of yesterday's session, which gave me a player edge of about 20% or more. This time it was a horrendous house edge, which basically offset yesterday's 20+%. So, this is really how these games work. And it's the reason why, if people bet randomly, haphazardly, emotionally, erratically, flat, whatever, then they're going to fall foul of exactly the kind of patterns that you can see even in a high-speed thing like this. And I could, I suppose, go even faster, but what's the point? But the message that I'm always trying to get across is that volatility is what kills people in these games. It's the sort of the short, sharp nasties that abounded in this particular session, and which you will always encounter with. It doesn't matter which game you're playing, whether you're doing, I don't know, baccarat or blackjack or single zero roulette or craps, just going for the even money bets. You're going to get volatility from time to time. You've got to have the money to back your play, to take you through the rough patches so you can come out the other side. And the most important thing is that any strategy which pretends to be able to predict what's coming next in these tilted table games is fraudulent. There is no doubt about that. I mean, you'll listen to Vegas Matt, for instance, sort of saying, oh, yeah, okay, well, the board shows this, the board shows that. So, what you can conclude from that is da-da-da-da-da. It's all bullshit. It's exactly what the casinos want you to believe, and it's the reason that people like Vegas Matt are treated like royalty and showered with gifts and sponsorships and freebies and having bloody high roller rooms named after them and all that kind of crap. I mean, it's and $100 chips with their face on them. I mean, good God, how can anybody be stupid enough to think that Vegas Matt is a friend of punters? When all this is going on with all these casinos, I mean, he gets free trips with Virgin Cruises, he gets, sort of all of this kind of stuff. And he's treated the way that he is because he is bringing in lambs to slaughter. And he can deny it all he likes. That's what he's there for. And if he's not doing it, the casinos will soon let him know, and he will be out of a job. So, that's how it is. He is a promoter of not just gambling, but really, really stupid gambling. And the casinos want all of us to bet really stupidly, not to care about the numbers, not to know about the numbers, and to do, for instance, I mean, I really like watching Vegas Paulie C, but he still does this thing where he drops back way too soon. He'll lose one big bet and immediately fall back to a minimum. And, he might believe that somehow he's making that work for him, but he really isn't, because it can't work. It's just mathematically impossible. Anyway, here's the grand finale of I think it's the grand finale. Is it the grand finale? No, maybe there's more to come. But right at the very end, I ended up having to bet 100 grand, and by golly, turned around. But that's how it works. So basically the message is have the right amount of money out at the right time as best you can. You can't read the runes. You can't second guess these things. Every bet is more likely to lose than to win. But if you use your noodle, you can actually make sure that you've got the right amount down when bang, things turn around and go your way. Okay, so I'm following up on my last two shoes of blackjack right quick, because it really was a piece of piss, a walk in the park, a easy peasy, no challenge at all. And I always feel kind of guilty about that, because the whole object of these demos, these sessions that I put up, is to show you that pattern betting will enable you to beat negative expectation games. And so what I like to see is actual negative expectation. And in the last session, I think the final house edge was, player edge, quite the opposite of the house edge. The final player edge was well over 20%, which is just ludicrous. But on the other hand, this is how these games work. I mean, every so often you're going to run into sort of something positive, something worthwhile, lots of plus runs, and not too many threats. And that, of course, is what the professional losers rely on: the DGen Dolts and the Vegas Mats and the Jason Balkys and so on. I mean, and Crazy Cody Burn Money is a perfect example. What he's looking for constantly is a ridiculous winning streak, and it demonstrates absolutely nothing. I mean, if you're flat betting or random betting, it doesn't matter what comes at you, you're going to get hurt in the end because of the simple logic that the house advantage is going to ensure that you lose more bets than you win. So if you bet flat or you bet randomly, then you are going to be, begins with F and ends with D. So there we are. Anyway, let's kick this off and go away, red chip. I don't like you. Yeah, it took me a long time to figure out that I didn't have to preset the whole thing to 25 whatever. I just had to eliminate the red chip. I'm not as smart as I think I am sometimes. Anyway, double for the loss. Bloody hell. 1, 2. That's not good, is it? 3, 4. This is going to be the exact opposite of the last session by the look of it. 3, 4. Hit. Nope. That's not going to do anything, is it? 7, 8. I mean, we haven't had a win yet. Damn it. Okay, Mr. Wizard, now you're bloody well showing off. 7, 8, so it's 15, 8. Drop to 3. I think we'll be running away from this one in a minute. Ooh, 12, 8. So we're going to call that 3, 2 in 500s, and we will be running away in a minute. Oh, no, that should have been 3, 4. No, I did that wrong. No, that was 3, 2. Sorry, now it's 1, 2. What an idiot. Oh, now it's a double down. See, that's what can happen. If you just trust the strategy, don't do, for instance, what Vegas Paulie C does, where he'll keep, when he's on a plus run or a rush, as he calls it, he will add a unit after every win. And as soon as he loses a hand, he drops back to a minimum bet. And it seems to work for him, and at least he's being consistent. I mean, that's the one great thing about watching Mr. Marmite, as far as I'm concerned, is that he's consistent and he behaves as if he wants to beat the house. The Vegas Mats, all those others, the Bobby Rivases, the Jason Balkys and so on, they bet like bloody idiots because they don't care. I mean, Paulie C says that his income from YouTube is way below 10,000 a month, and Vegas Mats is way above 200,000 a month. So you can guess what the difference is about. Excuse me, sorry. So anyway, all right, that puts us back on the right side. There's nothing like a nice, well-timed double down. And they'll be taking those away in due course, you know that. That's 1, 2. All right, back to the men. Win it, then minute. Bugger. 1, 2 again. Are we going to be back in the long grass in a minute? There we got that one. All right, goody goody. You can't beat these games if you bet the way those prats do, and they're just performers. They're not trying to help you. They're just helping themselves. God, 1, 2 again? Jeepers. 3, 4 again. 7, 8 again. That's a hit. Damn. 15, 8 drop to 3. We will run away if we have to. 18, 8. That's a nice 22 up there. Okay, so 15, 8. So 3, 2 again in 500s. Damn it. 5, 4 in 500s. That's not looking good, is it? Yeah. Look at that. 9, 4. So we are going to run away from this. 9, 4 is going to be 5, 3 in thousands when we go to the middle roller table. Okay, so 5, 3 is where we're at, and we're dropping to 1,000, which is a fifth of the total nasty. Damn, another one. Okay, so 5, 3, so I guess I better make that. Well, the rule says I should do what I'm told. The rule says now we're on 4, 3. Okay, and now we're on 1, 2. Oops, now we're on 3, 4. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? 7, 8, we're going to run away again in a minute. 7, 8 is the last dance. Oh no, that's wrong. 7, 8 is our turnaround bet. Come on! Oh dear. All right, 15, 8, and we're running away again, so bear with me while we run to the high roller tables. 15, 8, which is going to be 3, 2 in 5,000s, and we'll be dropping again. All right, so it's nasty, nasty time, isn't it? 3, 2 in 5,000 increments, and so the drop is 1. Oh God, that's a double down. Well, that worked out, didn't it? 3, 2 in 5,000s, and we just won. Oh God. I got to stop and think. No, I'm not. Hang about. All right, so the correct bet at this point is 1, 2 in 5,000. So cross your fingers for me again. A 22 up there, is that perfect or what? You know, that's what you like to see. Okay, so now we're out of the shit, and pattern betting has done it again. And for you people out there who say, "But that's way too much money. I can't do that. Just remember, if you don't do this, you're screwed. You know, I mean, the number of people in all the years that I spent in Nevada, and I'd watch people, and they'd come to the table with only 1,000 or so, and start with a $25 bet as a minimum. You know, sometimes even 100, and then be amazed when all their money's gone. You know, it's just extraordinary the way that people will stick their neck in a bloody noose and then jump off the chair. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And I've been watching that since all the way back in the late 70s when I first went to Las Vegas. It's just horrific what people do. And then, of course, you've got your Vegas Mats and so on doing equally stupid things, but with enormous bankrolls, where they could actually kick the house's ass all over the casino floor. But that's not their job. Their job is to lose, because they'll get it back at the end of the day, and that's the big difference. Anyway, now I've got to return to the cheap seats, so back in a mo. Yeah, every so often I get somebody saying to me, "Well, you won't find a casino anywhere that'll give you a range like 25 to 5,000." And I'm sorry, that's completely irrelevant. I mean, I'm doing it in part, I do it this way in part for convenience and so on, but it's just completely mathematically, logically, statistically irrelevant. I mean, if you're in a situation where you hit the table limit because it's really tight, you don't sort of restrict yourself to the table limit. You just back off, take your chips with you, go to a table, a layout, or a casino if you have to cross the street or go next door or whatever. Go somewhere that you can make the necessary next bet. And if you hit another table limit, same story, over and over again. Anyway, we're back to the cheap seats. 22. I don't like 22s, not when they're on my side. Strange that, isn't it? Another 22? It's not fair. It's a conspiracy. That's a double down. That was a fuck up. Oops. Okay, so it's 1, 2, 5, 2, 6. It's 5, 6 now, isn't it? Oh no, that's wrong. 5, 6. Is that right? Just about, I think, yeah. Oh, 11, 6, drop, 2, 3. Damn, they're testing us this time. Bugger. What? Uh, 14, 6. 11, 6. Can't quite bump that up. Now we've got one of those situations where, because it's a push, okay, normally the rule is you don't double down after a push if the bet is 100, sorry, is more than 100. But if you can turn it into a turnaround bet, then double it. So that's what we're doing. So now we've got a turnaround possibility. 11, 12, so that's 23. Oh God, we're going to be broke. 23, 25. Can just do that. Not great, is it? Well, that solved it. So we had to put out 5,000 to rescue 225. But the way that you have to look at these games is, this is a business relationship. It's a transactional relationship. You lend the dealer some money and wait patiently, follow the rules faithfully, accurately, confidently, and you get your money back with a little bit of interest. So our 5,000 almost there put at risk got back 225, which is pretty bloody awful. Let's face it, it's maybe 5%. But on the other hand, it was only about a minute. So it's not that bad. But this is a business proposition. This is a business arrangement. The casinos don't like that. They only like people who, I'll double that. What the heck? Oh dear, bad idea. 2, 3. Bugger. Getting crap, aren't we? Look at that. 5, 6. This is such a contrast to the last session. It's just really funny. Well, that helped. Okay. Yeah, you have to look at this as a business proposition, and casinos hate people who aren't playing for fun. They will weed them out. They will ban them if they can. They'll certainly interfere with them, muck them about. Happened to me so many times. I lost count. Even when it's just trying to distract you from what you're doing, because they know that you've got a disciplined strategy. So if they come and they start beating your ear, the pit boss will come over and start with natter, 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 yat, yat, yat. And, some of these guys were nice guys. They were just doing their job. They could see that I was doing something. So what I would do is I'd just pull my money out and, and then chat away until they finally got fed up. And then I'd start betting again, because what they wanted me to do was to continue betting while they distracted me. Those guys will do whatever it takes, you know. I think that's a +1. Big win. Double. Another 22 up there. I like it. Another +1. But, see, I would have caught the 9 on the 7 and the 8. Isn't that funny? Where am I at now? I'm at, I think I'm at 1, 2. See, I'm distracting myself now, nattering away. Oh, that was a good one. I like that. All right. But if you bet flat or you bet randomly, say goodbye to your money. Give it a big, friendly, warm kiss and bye-bye. Double for the loss. Repeat. Split. Split. Double. Double. Okay, dealer, I really need you to bust. Ha! That was good. It wasn't much, but it was good. The point is to make money. You know, that's what we're here for. We're not here to have fun, although it is fun winning, I'll tell you. It's a lot more fun than losing. A lot of people never get to experience that. That didn't look good, did it? We're back to 1, 2 again. Oh, that'll work. Back to the min. Win it, then min it. That's a bugger. Oh, another 22 up there. I love it. All right, +1. Didn't like that much. Another 1, 2. 3, 4. All right. You're allowed to win 1 or 2, Mr. Wiz. Oh, great. All right. Double for the loss. My plan right now is to run this shoe down. And, oh, that didn't work well. I think that's another, I think it might even be 2, 3. Let's call it 2, 3. 5, 6. Ouchie. What I was going to say was what I want to do is run this shoe down. So we're on 5, 6 and doubling down. Ah! God. That does not look good. 11, 6 dropped to 3, but I think we're going to be running away from this one. Eight, 6. Yeah, that's too marginal. So 8, 6 it is. 14, 15, and I don't think I'll run away from this one if I don't get it. Okay, so we're on 3, 3 in thousands, which I think I should make 3, 4, and we will just make that bet. All right, so we're looking at 3, 4 in thousands, and I'm going to do it because that's what the rules tell me to do. That's not good. Not good. Not good. Ouch! Okay, so 7, 8, which puts the drop at 2. Seven, 8, 9, 8. 7, 8 it is. Aye, aye, aye. 15, I think we better make this, oh, well, we 7, 8. Well, we can't do it, can we? 7, 8. I was going to say 3, 4 in 5,000s, but I can't do that here, so I got to go to high roller country. Okay, so here we are now playing with the big boys. I've got Dana White on my left and Crazy Cody Burn Money on my right. 3, 4 in 5,000s, but we're going to drop to 1 unit. 4, 4. 5, 4. 4, 4. Look at that. 4, 4. Well, I think we better go for 8, 9. Because we're being messed about here. Oh boy. Well, I can't double it. I should be able to double it, but I can't. Boy, oh boy, this is really shitty, isn't it? So 8, 9, which is 17, 20, and we've got to run away again. God, even now I'm not even sure that 1720 is enough. What is 20? That's 17. 1720 is the biggie. Come on, natural. Oh dear. That is a bitch. Well, I think we're finally out of trouble, don't you? I think so. We're at 22 minutes, 23 minutes. We really went to bat and went on the mat, rolled on the mat, fought like bloody crazy this time. You know, I'm always dealing with people saying, oh, it's just crazy, this is stupid, what you're doing is insane, you know, you shouldn't be teaching people, and yet, you know, the Vegas Matts and the Crazy Codys and the Dana Whites and all those other wankers, those Wallies, those house pets, you know, they are bloody setting a terrible example. And yet, you know, when I demonstrate a strategy which bets in the same level as they do, but beats negative expectation, I get stick for it. Makes no sense. But hey, I'm a big boy. I can put up with it. And anyway, I think we kicked some shit there. Again. Okay, so as I comment in the chart title there, this was very much a nasty, be careful what you wish for nightmare. And the reason that I did another session against the Wizard of Oz blackjack sim so hot on the heels of the last one is that the last one was a piece of piss. It was a walk in the park. It was a doddle. It was a easy peasy kind of like, you know, and I don't like those much. I'd much rather see patent betting kick the crap out of the house in spite of a 17.5% house edge, which is, you know, given that the mathematical kind of cliche, the standard estimate for blackjack is somewhere between somewhere between 0.5 and 1% against us. This is 17.5%, and it was horrible. There's a big difference between the way that I was able to bet in real time against the sim and the way that the algorithm bet. So the algorithm is going to come out of this pretty badly. It's not losing, but the win is insignificant. It's about 1/10 in percentage terms of my result from real time betting. And sure, I get, you know, this is not real money. This is not a real casino. This is not an actual shoe. It's, you know, all of that stuff. But the thing that people out there have to understand, or I would appreciate if they were to try to understand, is that I can't do this stuff in a casino because there is no casino that will let me. And if I do it on a table in my living room or whatever, then I'm going to get exactly the same kind of crap, just like that perfect pair setup do. I mean, they're putting down minimum bet 100,000, but when you're playing on your bloody living room or kitchen table or whatever, it doesn't mean as much as if you were putting a real $100,000 down in a casino. And I get that, but what I'm trying to do here is to simply demonstrate that progressive betting, and pattern betting in particular, is the way to go against these tilted table games. And I've never suggested to anybody that the size of bets that are required from this particular approach can be achieved by absolutely anybody. What I am telling you is that there are people on YouTube who are throwing money away in vast amounts. Crazy Cody Byrne money, for instance, Dana White, for instance, Vegas Matt less so. He's not quite as daft as Crazy Cody. But Bobby Rivas, even now, what's his name? Reggie Mush, as he calls himself, as he bops around casinos with his little buddy, who kind of looks like the kid from Home Alone, but not much. I mean, he's, sort of 10 times his age, and that's an exaggeration. But anyway, I think you get what I mean. They both seem like reasonable people, but all these guys are shills. They're all touts. They're all pushing gambling on innocent people, and the casinos go along with the idea that helping these people, showering them with comps, sponsoring them in all kinds of ways, sort of giving them promotional chips and all that kind of thing, is getting paid back in additional business being brought into the casinos, into the business. And, anybody who denies that is a bloody idiot. I mean, I had one guy who put up a comment that said, nobody who has ever watched Vegas Matt, no adult who has ever watched Vegas Matt has been tempted to gamble because of watching what he does. I mean, what absolute BS. Somebody with less than half a brain, considerably less than half a brain. I mean, why the hell would the casinos put up with all of the clutter that comes with these guys doing their shtick if it wasn't of benefit to the casinos? And now we hear that Vegas Matt, when Fontainebleau opens its new high roller room, is going to have a whole setup dedicated to Vegas Matt, just as the downtown casino, the Voldemort casino, has $100 chips with his face on them. I mean, come on. Anybody who actually believes that Vegas Matt is a friend of the punter is a damn fool. That's all I can say. Anyway, I'm off on another little rant. I'm very sorry. Let's just deal with the facts here. Minus 17.5% against us at the end of this session. I came out with, after some serious shit, I came out with just about a 10% player edge. I won 24,400 on exposure of 184,000 and on action of 260,000. My average win was 5,196. Average loss was 2,000. Call it 3,000. Average win value over average loss value 206%. That's what you got to do. And all you people out there who say, well, this doesn't mean anything because I can't afford to do this, you're missing the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make, and have been for 30 damn years, is quite simply, if you can't do this, you shouldn't go in a casino. You shouldn't put your money at risk because you will lose. You might get lucky in the short term. You might actually double your money. You might triple your money. The trouble with that is that's going to fill you full of confidence, and you're going to go back in and you're going to bet higher and you're going to lose it all. And you may not lose it all next time, but you will lose it eventually, and the casinos count on that. What they count on is the absolute stupidity of your average punter. And, that's what's being promoted by the Vegas Matts and the Bobby Rivases and the Bretskys and all the rest. Utter stupidity, utter suicidal, reckless, irresponsible betting. And you don't see that here, partly because it's funny money, but also because that's counterproductive. It's going to kill you if you bet like that. So anyway, we're going to go down to the bottom here. Little by little, little by little, or litter by litter, as a friend in Reno used to say. I don't know where he was from. He was from some foreign part, but he used to say litter by litter. So anyway, there it is. 24,000 on 256,000 worth of 208% average win over average loss advantage. The gross house edge was 23.8%, so 24%, and we reduced that to 18%, which is not great, but of course, finally, for me, applying the pattern betting rules as accurately as I can. I'm sometimes screwing up. That's how it goes with a human being. I'm working on perfection, but I've been working on it for damn near 80 years, and I haven't got there yet. So what can I tell you? 24,400, I like it. I think that's a good win. It's 9.5% of my total action. That's the kind of thing you need to aim for. You need to hope for 10%. You can't control it exactly, but that's what you have to hope for. 10% of your total action. Hold of action is what the casinos talk about all the time in their internal kind of documents, in their internal records. They're looking for a solid win, and it's a hold, as they call it, of total action. And for blackjack, it happens to be currently in Nevada, it's about 16%. It's supposed to be, the house edge is supposed to be less than 1%, but stupidity, drunkenness, greed, ignorance, half-assed behavior gives the house an edge of 16% instead of less than 1%. And it's all done by, and the casinos expect this. And these people who sit down with tin pot bloody shoestring bankrolls and they look across the table at the dealer's tray, which has got sort of like anywhere between 100,000 and 500,000 in it, and they actually think that they can beat that. I mean, how dumb is that? Anyway, pattern betting, not so great. 0.6 of 1%, so even worse than I thought. But it's a win. That's the thing. I mean, 17.5% against us. Part of the reason that the algorithm has a problem is that when it gets into the stratosphere, which it definitely did this time. Oh, and the red lines, of course, are where, if it had been me playing in real time in a real casino, I'd have run away at those points. Those are red line points that just are not sustainable. Who knows what the result would be, but I've never said to anybody that it's automatic that if you run away, if you gag, if you get up and go, you're going to get up and go to a better place. I've never suggested that. What I am always telling you is that the normal pattern for these games is pretty much ping pong. It's not exactly ping pong, but it's close. It's, +2 -3, -3 +1, a little bit of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And you can see here that even struggling as it was, the algorithm achieves what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12 turnarounds. In the online situation, I got 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is obviously a turnaround here, but it doesn't show up because the next one doesn't have a number in it. But it is a turnaround there, so it's about the same, 11 or 12. And this is what you're trying to do all the time. You are trying to make sure that you come out alive, and you turn around frequently. And then as soon as you do that, once you've got your money in your pocket or in front of you on the table in a big pile of chips, you fall back to the minimum. And I get trolls every so often saying to me, well, you couldn't do that at a table where you just bet 10,000. You couldn't fall back to $25. Yeah, that's true. Completely irrelevant. Get over yourself. Get your head out of your fundamental and just pay attention, for goodness sake. That's really what I'm trying to say. I mean, loads of people, especially people who work in the gambling industry, will say progressive betting is dangerous, progressive betting is stupid, progressive betting is suicidal. The casinos know damn well that's a lie. And yet they still have their shills, their Vegas Matt, the king of the shills, and others. Every so often they have to do a dutiful attack on progressive betting. Well, of course that can't work. It's stupid. It's dangerous. And they do that simply because the casinos know full well progressive betting will kill them. Pattern betting in particular will kill them. And, that's why they are the way they are. Let's go back to the algae latest point. And there you can see it. Rather sad, but I don't, as I was trying to say before, when I get into these big money stratosphere situations, what in real life I do is I would take the 1,200 and I say, okay, so the increment now is 500 chips. You can see me doing that in the real play sessions. And then after a certain point, the increment is $1,000 chips or $5,000 chips. That doesn't happen here. So what you would actually get towards the end here, if the algorithm was capable of doing it. And I don't touch the algorithm for the simple reason that then I've got some twerp saying to me, oh, look, he's changed it. So I just leave it alone and let it do its thing. But here what would happen is, we'd be up in the 1,000 range. And so that would have been a loss of 5,000, loss of 5,000, a loss of 10,000, a win of 20, a loss of 20,000, a win of 40,000. 40, 40, 40, and you can see what I mean. I mean, in real play, you don't mess around with 20s and hundreds. I mean, like when you're in the tens of thousands and then over 100,000, you're not messing around with 200 here and 400 there. You're bumping up the increment value, and I've shown you that so many times in the real time sessions against the Wiz. I do get people, as I've remarked many times, I do get people saying to me, a sim is not the same as the real thing. Bloody well is. And get over it. I mean, it really is. And what those people should do is give it a go. Stop flapping their lips. Stop giving me a hard time. And check it out. And beat it. I want them to beat it. I want them to give me 2 shoes worth of bets where they kick ass and do better than pattern betting would do. It's never happened. Nobody's ever taken me up on that challenge, and they never will. I know that. In the same way that no casino is ever going to let me, play with either real money or promo chips or whatever and demonstrate, simply because they're going to say, well, we're not going to give you a table limit of 25 to 100,000. That's crazy. Because we know you'll beat us. Oh, whoops, wait a minute. That means we're saying that progressive betting actually works. Oh, wait a minute. Go away. I mean, that's really how it is. But in real play, of course, what you do is, when you hit the table limit in a given situation, you move on. You go to another layout where you can make the bet that's required by the pattern betting rules. And if you hit another table limit, then you do the same thing. You just keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. I did that for years in northern Nevada, in Reno, and in Las Vegas. And I didn't make a fortune because I didn't have a fortune to invest. But I'll tell you, I did very nicely. And of course, sports betting, which I adopted, I adapted the pattern betting rules for sports betting late on in my time in Nevada, and that produced very decent money, some really good wins, but deep holes too. I mean, I'm not pretending that this doesn't get scary from time to time, but are you going to tell me that Crazy Cody Burn Money or Dana White or whatever getting $1 million, $2 million in the hole isn't scary? If those guys used pattern betting, they would seriously be in the chips. And Dana White would be an actual, real winner, not just in his own mind. But they're not going to do that because their job is to promote crap, prattish, stupid, reckless play. That's what they're about. So anyway, I guess it's time for me to go again.